Hello, this is Andy Schweitzer. A little video here on percent composition of solids. So, just a little heads up here. Let's just kind of look at a solid here. If we have a little dish, let's say, and there's a piece of solid something or another sitting on it, this particular dish holds this substance, and depending on the substance, it can vary. Okay, and let's just draw it out as a cube. All right, this thing, let's just say, is a pure substance. Now, at this point, whether it is an elemental substance, which means, let's just say it's solid carbon, okay, or, technically it could be a compound, which would be, let's say, it's solid carbon dioxide, so it'd be pretty cold. Either way, the composition of that substance is the same throughout. That's the definition of a pure substance. If I split it in half, I have the same ratios, let's just say it's carbon dioxide, of carbon to oxygen on this side as I do carbon to oxygen on this side. Sample size does not matter for the percent composition of a pure substance. Now, of course, if I have a substance that is a mixture, okay, and let's just say this substance here, okay, is a mixture. Okay, well then it might be you might be able to visually see that some parts are different colors, and like a rock of some sort that might contain some mineral deposits in some places and not in others. In this case, if I split it in half, obviously there's different compositions on different sides, and this is something that we don't deal with a whole lot. It's there, But at this point, for the most part, we deal with pure substances. Okay. And not always, but you just understand the difference. Okay, so there are two ways to look at this, and I could look at it as a pure substance or a mixture. Now, let's take this and mix it in. When I have a solid, okay, I could take this substance, okay, and I can mix something into it, and maybe I mix it into it very nicely. And let's say hypothetically you can't even tell the difference, that there is something mixed in here. Maybe it's mixed very evenly. This we would call a homogeneous mixture. As opposed to, if you could actually see the parts, we call it a heterogeneous. Okay. Now, if I want to mathematically measure this stuff here, inside of here, we could use what's called percent composition. Percent composition by mass is a pretty common way of doing this. And it might mean that, okay, well, the definition for this is percent by mass. I'm going to give myself a little bit more room here. Is percent by mass equals mass of X divided by total mass times 100. Now, for a homogeneous mixture, I guess we would be assuming that it's evenly mixed throughout it. So this is a linear proportion based off 100, but in some sense, X would be the mass of this stuff inside here, and total mass would be the entire mass of the entire substance. And this is, say, for example, the total mass. Let's say that you mix 5 grams of X, and the total substance weighs 25 grams. Therefore, 5 divided by 25 equals 5. Well, it'd be point. Well, it goes into it 5 times, so it's actually 0.2. times 100 equals 20%. Okay? So that means of the total mass, 20% of it is going to be due to X. The other 80% is due to the other materials in it. So percent by mass is a way of measuring how much stuff is in a solid. Okay. Now again, this is just a linear relationship based off 100. If we had 100, then it would be 20 and 80. This would be this X, and this would be the other stuff that happens to be our solid. Okay. Now, we could take this a bit further and say, okay, what is the actual composition of X? If we blew X up, okay, what is X? What are the components of X? That is not the objective of percent by mass, at least in this sense. Okay, this is on a macroscopic big view. I have a large chunk of stuff. Okay, how much of it is actually due to X versus the other solids around it? If I dive deeper, I can take a microscope down, look at X, and say, okay, what is actually inside of the X substance? That's a little bit different. That's more on a molecular view. Another example of this might be if you take a human body, okay, and percent composition by mass is a pretty common way of measuring your body. You might say, okay, well, let's say a person weighs 200 pounds, LBS, pounds, and let's say this person is 10% body fat. That means that of all sorts of things they got, they got bone, they got water, they have skin, okay, you have fat, all these things, muscle, all these things add up to the total weight of the individual. And again, total weight 200 pounds. So if you want to know this 10% fat, that'd be okay. Of the total 200 pounds, 20 pounds of it is due to fat times 100, and that would be 10%. Okay? So this is a macroscopic view of a person. Okay, what I'm talking about here, diving down, saying, okay, we have all these parts. What is the composition of just fat itself? And it's okay. What is fat? Well, fat is a triglyceride. Okay, and we have a carbon chain, and we have a glycerol top on it. So this is a molecular view of fat itself. We're looking at this point of a macroscopic percent composition of a human body. We can always dive deeper. Okay. Keep in mind, when a question is asked, percent composition, what are they asking? Bigger picture or smaller picture?